Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Tessie and today we'll be learning how to sew a short wrap gown. If you've not subscribed to my YouTube channel, kindly do so and let's get right into it. So as you can see, I've folded my fabric into two, and when you're sewing a wrap gown, you'll be working on the back pattern first before working on the front pattern. So now I've folded my fabric into two. Now, to know the amount of fabric to fold is going to be my hip measurement divided by 4, and I'll be adding 2 to 3 inches sewing allowance. So that's what I did. I folded it. So this point is going to be my starting point. And from my starting point, I will chalk the length of my gown. The length of my dress is 36 inches, but the full length is 38 inches. I'll be adding pleating to it, so I just chalked 36 inches for now. So from this point, I'm going to take my shoulder measurement divided by 2. My shoulder is 15 divided by 2 will give me 7.5. I chalked my 7.5, and I'll come down to my armhole line, which is 9 inches. As you can see, I'm just going to connect the armhole line. So now from that starting point, I'm going to chalk my waist measurement, and I'm going to chalk my hip measurement. So I'll go ahead now to connect these lines. Now on the starting point, I'll take my neckline. So I'll be taking 3 inches for the back. I'll be using 1.5. So now I'm just going to connect it. So after doing that, I'll come down 1 inches for my shoulder slope. So I came down by 1 inches for my shoulder slope, and I'm just going to connect it this way. Now on this chest line, I'll place my bust measurement divided by 4. So my bust divided by 4 will give me 9.5. I'll be adding 2 inches sewing allowance. On the waistline, I'll place my waist measurement divided by 4. My waist divided by 4 is 8 inches, and I'll be adding 2 inches sewing allowance. On the hip line, I'll place my hip measurement divided by 4. The hip divided by 4 is 11 inches. I'll be adding 2 inches sewing allowance to it. So now what I'll do is connect this point to this point, and from this point connect to this, and from this I'll just connect it straight down. So just going to connect it this way, and from this point I'm just going to connect it straight down. Now after shaping, what I'll do is just curve my armhole. So I'm just going to curve my armhole this way. So now we are done with the back pattern. I'll go ahead to cut out my back pattern. I'll be leaving 1/2 inch for sewing allowance. So now this is what the back pattern looks like. So now I'll be cutting the front. So guys, for the front pattern, as you can see, I folded my fabric into 2, and I chalked 5 inches, and I made a straight line. So you can use 3 inches, 4 inches, 5 inches, 6 inches. It depends on how you want it covered, how you want the wrap covered. So what I'll do now is just place the back on the front after the 5 inches line. So I'm just going to place it this way. Now after placing it this way, you know this is our waistline, so I'm just going to make a line from that point. I'm just going to connect it straight down here. From this waistline, I connected a line to the front pattern just like this, right? So now I'll just go ahead now to shape out this measurement and show you guys what it looks like. So this is what I have. So now what we'll be doing now is I'm just going to chalk this neckline here on the front, right? So now I'll place this way and connect from this 3 inch.
I'm so sorry, guys. I just realized that my phone didn't record the part where I connected. So from that 3 inches line, just connect to the waistline.
Now on this down part of the front pattern, there is a curve around this area. So I'm just going to curve from this point. I'm just going to curve it in till I get to the end of this point. So what I'll do is I'll just place this way, and this back pattern, I'm just going to place it like this. So now I'm just going to be curving from this point. I'm just going to curve my hand till I get to the end of this point. So now when you are curving, you determine how deep you want it to be. So if you want it very deep, you go in the more, then you curve till the end of this part. So now I'm just going to curve. So from that part, I'm just going to slant it this way. So as you can see, this is what I have. So guys, after curving it in just like this, I'm going to cut it out. So now this is what I have for the front and the back pattern. This is what it looks like, as you can see.
So as you can see, I have two pieces for the front and I have one single piece for the back.
So guys, what I will do now is I'm just going to use bias. I'll bias it till I get to this end, and I'll do the same thing for this part as well. If you want to cut your lining, you can cut a lining, but I'll be using bias. So I'm also going to use a bias for this side. I'm going to start from the shoulder point and I'll stop at this waist line here. So guys, after biasing the neckline, this is what I have for the back pattern, and I also did the same thing for the front pattern. So I'm just going to place it on it this way, and I'll place the other part on it. So after placing it this way, what I'll be doing is stitching on that shoulder line by 1/2 inch. So I'll do the stitching on this part and also on this part. So guys, for my sleeve, I folded my fabric into two, and I have the length of my sleeve is 22 inches, and the wideness is on fold is 15.5. So what I'll be doing now is on the starting point, I'm just going to chalk 4 inches. So I will chalk 4 inches. Now on that 4 inches line, I'm just going to connect it straight down. So what I'll be doing now is on that 4 inches line, I'll put my round armhole measurement divided by 2. So my round armhole measurement divided by 2 will give me 9 inches. I'll be adding 1 inches for sewing allowance. So I'll be chalking 10 inches. And from this starting point, I'm just going to curve my armhole. So go ahead to curve. I'll curve it till I get to the 10 inches this way. So this is what I have. So what I'll be doing now is I'll be attaching elastic to this part of the sleeve. So I'm not going to make it tight. I'm just from this point, I'm just going to connect it down. So this is what I have. I'll go ahead now to cut out. So guys, after cutting the sleeve, this is what it looks like, as you can see. So I'll just notch the middle part of my sleeve, and I'll be cutting extra one as well. So what I'll be doing now is folding the down part of the sleeve. So I'll fold it just like this, and after folding, I'll have room for my elastic band. So what I'll be doing next is attaching the sleeve to the dress. So I'll be placing the notch part of the sleeve on the shoulder area, and I'm going to be stitching till I get to the end of this part, and I'll also stitch till I get to the end of the armhole. So I'll do the same thing for this other part as well. I'll place it on it just this way, and I'll be stitching till I get to the end of this armhole, and also do the same thing till I get to this end. So guys, after attaching my sleeve to it, this is what it looks like. So I'm going to flip it over this way. I'll be flipping it this way. So guys, what I'll be doing is I'll be placing my measurement and I'm going to stitch. So when I get to this point, I'll leave a small opening here because I'll be attaching my elastic on this part. So after attaching the elastic on the down part of my sleeve, I'm going to double stitch and close that part. I'll do the same thing for this part and show you guys what it looks like. So for the rope, I'm using 4 inches. If I fold it, I'll have 2 inches. So I'm just going to, as you can see, I have two. So you can cut it as long as you want. It depends on how you want to tie. So now I'll just fold it in and stitch, and I'll turn it out and show you guys. So after turning my rope, this is what I have, as you can see. So what I'll be doing is I'll be placing it here and I'll stitch on this part. I'll also place this and stitch. I'll be weaving this part, so it doesn't really matter for now. So guys, this is what it looks like after joining my rope to it. So now for a wrap gown, you need to open up one side of the front in order for this rope to pass in and come out. So you determine where you want to open. If you want it like this, that means you're going to open this side and pass it out, and this will cover it, or you place it this way for this rope to come out from this part. So that's what I'll do. So now I'm just going to open this side of my fabric. So now I'll be chalking out. I'm going to open it on that waist area. So from this point, I have my waistline here. So I'll just open it up on this waist area. Not too much. As you can see, my rope will be able to pass in from here. So guys, what I'll do now is double stitch on this side and also double stitch on this side in order to have this place secured. I'll be able to pass in my rope just like this. Check. Yes, my rope will be able to pass in. Then I have this part, right? So this is what it looks like. So what we'll be doing next is working on the pleat. You know there is pleat on the down part of the dress. So what I have here is 6 inches. So I'm working with 6 inches, and my fabric was not enough, so I was joining. As you can see, I had to join some parts. So you can cut as much as possible.
So what I'll be doing now is I'll be folding my fabric into two just like this, and I'm going to run a stitch all the way down in order to secure them together. So after running that stitch, I'm going to be pleating on the down part of my gown. So from this point, I'm just going to pleat all the way down. Then I'm going to be stopping somewhere around here. The reason why I'm stopping somewhere around there is because this place is covered already, so there is no need pleating all the way to that waistline. So I'll stop somewhere around here, and I'm going to weave and iron and show you guys what it looks like. So this is what it looks like. As you can see, hope this tutorial was helpful. Please do not forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, drop a comment, and I will see you guys in the next class. I'll say bye for now. Bye.